Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Microman Nissan Cadillac basketball game of the week. We're going to throw it as quickly as we can courtside. It's the Midnights and the Stars. Alan Zlardozinski courtside with the coach of the Miami Midnight.
Thank you very much, Steve Wilson. I'm here with head coach Damon Wilcox of the Miami Midnight. Coach, tell us a little bit about the style of basketball your team plays.
Well, first of all, we're very happy to be here, and thanks for having us. In regard to the style that we play, we try to get up and play a fast-paced game. We try to take care of defensive boards and get out and run fast breaks. And then when the fast break don't present itself, we have to sit down in the half court and try to run our stuff and just try to execute and get the good ball moving, a good player moving, to get the best shot available. There's a 24-second shot clock. So, we want to try to get something early again. If we can't, then move the ball. First best shot we get, we try to take it.
How's your season going so far this year?
In the FBA, it's a young season. We've only played 2 games. We got out the gate real good. We won our first game. We had a setback our last time out. And, we had our winning streak was snapped, but, it was good for us. Streaks are made to be broken. We're 1-1, but we're chomping at the bit, excited to get back on the court today, to get back into action. We've been working on some things the last couple of weeks in practice, so now we can try to implement them today in the ball game.
Talking to head coach Damon Wilcox of the Miami Midnight. Coach, tell us a little bit about the league you play in, the ABA?
Yeah, we play in the ABA during the winter months and the beginning of the spring, and then we go back to the FBA, which we're in now in the summer and the fall. But you want to know more about the ABA?
FBA.
Oh, the FBA, this is our 3rd year in the FBA. We're 2-time defending champs of the FBA. We won it our first 2 years. But, this is a good opportunity to get guys throughout the state playing, to get local talent, statewide, to see who can do what, to try to get guys to move on to the next level. That's what the mission of this league is, to try to get guys exposure, to get them seen so they can move on to bigger and better leagues, But in regards to playing, it provides a nice outlet for guys who are here from overseas or trying to get overseas over the summer, and it keeps guys engaged, keep them busy, and keep them off the streets, keep them out of trouble and things of that nature. So it's beneficial for everyone.
Fantastic. Well, Coach Wilcox, we'll look for you, get a word with you at halftime, maybe after the game. Good luck to you and your team tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
Take care. All right, let me see if I can get a word here with the head coach of the Space Coast Stars, Chuck Agee. Chuck, let's talk a little bit about your team tonight. What can we expect to see from the Stars?
We're going to get up and down the floor, run a little bit, play a little bit of good defense.
How about the team? What do you know about your opponent tonight?
Those guys played very well. They seem like they've been playing together for a while. They got a good chemistry, a lot of good shooters. So we'll be in for a good one tonight.
Coach, who should the listeners be listening out for tonight? Tell us a couple of the guys that we need to keep our eye on tonight.
We got our guy Jackson. We just got one of our guys come back from overseas, Shannon, and we should have a pretty good night from the Stars tonight.
He's head coach Chuck Agee of the Space Coast Stars. Coach, we'll look for you at halftime and after the game.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Alan. Alan Zlardozinski of the Friday Night Locker Room, roaming the sidelines. Once again, I'm Steve Wilson. FBA basketball, Florida Basketball Association, the Space Coast Stars from Central Florida, primarily on the East Coast in Brevard County, versus the Miami Midnights, the 2-time defending champions of the FBA. We're going to be calling a lot of familiar names to those on the Space Coast, a number of basketball players, Vieira High School, Cocoa High School, Melbourne, around the horn. But it's a little different. It's not the NBA. It's not high school. It's probably somewhere in between. I think the goals and aspirations of a lot of these players are to step up and play at the next level. What is the next level? Probably overseas, maybe South America. But the quality of play is high. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight on the campus of Bethany Christian School in Melbourne. Alan, it's the Space Coast Stars and the Miami Midnight.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is my first Space Coast Stars game. I'm very excited. Got a good turnout here tonight, Steve. The referees are here. And, again, the 2-time defending champion, Miami Midnight. And it's going to be a lot of fun for me personally. I watched Corbin Jackson up close and personal this year. A lot of people did with the Florida Tech Panthers. And, the defensive style of game that Corbin plays. And as you said, Steve, these are guys that are looking to make the next level. For example, a player that has been at the next level, really his 17th year of semi-pro/pro ball, a guy for the Space Coast Stars that everybody looks up to, is Terrence Shannon, number 33, forward center for the Space Coast Stars. And going to be interesting to see. He kind of mentors the rest of the players on the team. Very excited about the team this year. And as I said, he just returned from Venezuela, Steve.
Yeah, and we're doing something a little different tonight on SpaceCoastDaily.com. As you see, you can see. More often than not, the overwhelming majority of the times, it's audio only. Playing around with a little video live streaming this afternoon. We're in the corner of the gym, as you can see, but we're going to give you the best view and angle that we can. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. The team in the green on the far court warming up. That's the Midnites from Miami. In gold are the Space Coast Stars.
Yeah, it's talking to their team manager, getting the roster from them. Took them about 3.5 hours to get up here. So wasn't a bad drive, she said. She said they're rested and ready to play. And, of course, Steve, I got here about 5 o'clock. I know you were here well before then, and the Space Coast Stars have been shooting around since the time I got in the gym. So very excited to get action underway here in just a couple of minutes.
It is, and you have a core basketball team. Almost from game to game, you'll have some additions, some players that can't make it to the game for various reasons. So it's hard to really get a firm read on the teams from game to game, but I like what I see out of the Stars. We see some names that played at the Amway Center about a month or so ago when we covered the Orlando team, the Flight versus the Stars. A couple of pickups. You mentioned Corbin Jackson, just recent graduate of Florida Tech. He'll be playing professional basketball somewhere in the near future, probably overseas, but there's going to be some talent on the court tonight, both wearing green and gold.
Yeah, I'm just glad they're both not wearing green shirts.
No question about it. But we'd like to thank our title sponsor, Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac. He's the man that gets us on the air each and every Friday night, but this is Saturday night, and there's no telling when we're going to show up. But Mr. Erdman is the man that drives the boat.
That's no question. Friday nights will be here soon enough. And again, as Steve said, the Friday Night Locker Room is funded by Mike Erdman Nissan Cadillac. The dealership, located on the 520 Causeway in Merritt Island, is an authorized sales and service outlet for new Nissan Cadillac products. Carries a line of used cars and trucks. The website, MikeErdmanMotors.com. The telephone number, 453-2050. Mike Erdman, the sales team, and a service crew are community-minded, bringing you tonight's game between the Space Coast Stars and the Miami Midnight over SpaceCoastDaily.com.
And yeah, after talking to the head coach, the Midnights were defeated last game. They had a 25-game winning streak.
Yeah.
It's the first time they had lost in some time. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back tonight against the Stars.
Yeah, it's and you would expect that they like to run. As the coach said, they play a fast-paced game. I have a feeling, Steve, you've seen the Stars before. What kind of game do they play?
They like to press, they like to run, and they like to shoot. It's an exciting brand of basketball, but when they want to play disciplined half-court basketball, they can do that. So they like to mix things up just a little bit, but expect some points tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the rules, we got 4 12-minute quarters is how we play here in the FBL. 4 12-minute quarters, of course, a halftime. Standard, I believe it's 6 fouls. Isn't it 6 fouls? Six fouls here in the FBL. So you get an extra one above and beyond high school and college. It's NBA foul style. So we've got 3 officials tonight. We've got a female official tonight and 2 male officials. I'll get their names before the end of the broadcast. And let me take this moment also to thank Beef O'Brady's, located on State Road 524 in Cocoa. Of course, Sean O'Reilly and the whole gang at Beefs have always been big supporters of local sports, and the tie-in with the Friday Night Locker Room is an absolute natural. The menu includes chicken, steak, and fish, taco baskets, wings, thanks to Sean O'Reilly and Beef O'Brady's on State Road 524 in Cocoa.
And get on over there and check out the new Coach's Corner at Beef O'Brady's in Cocoa. You'll see the banner on the wall, Coach's Corner, Beef O'Brady's, sponsored by Friday Night Locker Room and Space Coast Daily. It's pretty neat.
I'll bet you that Coach's Corner is exactly where we'll be coming up in a couple of months, talking to all the coaches again.
So we are moments away from the national anthem. We're going to pick that up, and we'll be right back with you. It looks like we're going to forego the national anthem. They had a prayer before the start of the game, so we are moments away from tip-off between the Midnights and the Stars.
All right, I'm excited. You be excited at home. Here, Steve and I set up in the corner of Bethany Christian School down here off of 192. Look, if you're in the area, stop on by. $5 to get in. All concessions $1. Very excited. Again, this is going to be a good basketball game tonight. Your starters for the Miami Midnight at the shooting guard position is number 5, Kevin Thomas. Amir Seston, the point guard. Number 7, Andy Diaz will play the forward center position. Adrian Diaz, also, number 12 will play the center forward position, and Ty Thomas coming in at the powered forward position. He is number 13. We'll get the starters for the Stars here in just a second. And it looks like right out of the gate, Adrian Diaz coming out the center. Steve, he looks to be about 6'10".
At least, yeah. And that's may be conservative.
Yeah, right. So it looks like we've got Stephen Galvin starting for the Stars, along with number 24, Lennon Weinbrenner, as well as number 33, Terrence Shannon, and number 45, Anthony Jackson. And let me check the other starter here. It looks like it is going to be number 8, and that's Rodney Williams. So there are your starters for the Space Coast Stars. As we get ready to jump it, it's going to be Diaz going up against, I can't see the number here, Diaz going up against, that's number 45 there, Anthony Jackson, and Miami controls the tip as the point guard, Kevin Thomas, brings the ball down. He circles to the right, back to the top of the key now with the ball is number 7, Adrian Diaz. He drives in, decides to pull up, back to Thomas. From deep inside is number 12, Adrian Diaz. Back to the top of the key is number 13. That's Ty Thomas with the shot, no good. Stars rebound. Stephen Gavin Jr. brings the ball down the court. He works the ball to the top of the right post. Shot good by Terrence Shannon. 2-0 Stars here with 11:25 to play following the tip. Miami right back to the other side, fast-paced. Coach Wilcox told you they would play it, working the ball inside there to number 12. That's the big guy, Adrian Diaz, and he will drop the 2 off the glass. Scores tied at 2. Point guard now, Stephen Galvin for the Space Coast Stars, brings the ball up. He crosses the midcourt stripe. He is working against Kevin Thomas, looking for an open player here down low in the corner. Miami finds him, and Jackson dribble drives the baseline, gets the pass over to Williams. Williams back over to Galvin. Galvin misses from 3, but the rebound to the Stars. They get the ball back out top, and Terrence Shannon controls play, slows it down, gets it back to point guard Stephen Galvin Jr., and he will dribble. He is now double teamed there, but the ball back to the top of the key. The number 45, Jackson, shoots from 3, no good. Miami with the rebound. Up the floor is Amir Seston, who immediately looks in the corner to Ty Thomas, and Ty Thomas hits. Not a 3, the referee calls it a 2, so it's 4-2 Miami. And the Stars bring the ball back across their side of the stripe, and that's Stephen Galvin Jr. with the ball. He's dribbling, sets up the offense. There's the pick there by Terrence. Terrence gets the ball back over here in the corner to a wide open Rodney Williams. He misses ball. Rebound over to Miami. We got a fast pace to start this one as the Midnight lead this 4-2 with 9:45 to play here in the opening quarter. Amir Seston, the guard, shoots from, I can't tell if that's 3, but the shot is no good. Rebound to the Stars. They immediately work the ball all the way down to their big guy, Terrence Shannon. He misses ball to Miami, and Miami on a break here. They have numbers, looking for the alley-oop, don't get it, ball out of bounds to the Space Coast Stars. So, Steve, you're right. Lots of action to start so far.
Yeah, no surprise. Both teams are running and shooting. That's what they do.
Miami inbounds the ball so far. We've got all original starters on the floor. Up with it is number 12. That's Adrian Diaz. He converts for his 4th point of the night, 6-2 Miami. Now the Stars all the way back down the court with it as number 45, Anthony Jackson, lays in to get the Stars back to within 2. 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Miami now all the way back across the center court stripe. Big guy at the top of the key there with the ball. That's Adrian Diaz. You're right, Steve. Conservative 6'10".
Yeah.
almost a giveaway there, but the Midnight control the ball. Shot no good. And again, Terrence Shannon, the 17-year veteran, controls the rebound. He brings the ball, drives the lane, shoots, and he will be fouled by Adrian Diaz, his first on the evening. So Diaz with 4 points now and 1 foul. Guarding the lane there is Terrence Shannon. Dribble, drove, pretty good execution, and he'll go to the line, Steve.
8:33 on the clock, 6-4. The guests from South Florida, Miami on top of the Stars early in this basketball game.
Shannon looks, I'm always intrigued by the free throw routine. Shannon with a quick one, up and in, 6-5. As Shannon that's his first points of the game. Shannon will hit them both and hits them comfortably. 6-6. We're all tied up here with 8:30 to go. As Miami works the ball not as quickly as they have in the previous possessions, back across the midcourt line from way downtown the three-point range is Ty Thomas. That ball is off the rim all the way back out of bounds. The ball will go to the Space Coast Stars. Again, we'll check the lineup for you here, the starting lineup for you here in just a second. Stephen Galvin Jr. brings the ball up. He gives it off to Shannon. Shannon down here in the near corner, drives, kicks it back over to Jackson. Jackson from three-point land, and he drills the three. His first of the game, 9-6 Stars. Good-looking three-point shot there by Stephen Jackson. Now Miami immediately back down the court as Andy Diaz takes the ball from Ty Thomas and lays it up and in. 9-8 Stars, and we are coast to coast here. Jackson with a shot, no good. Rebound, Miami, and immediately they throw the ball all the way back down into Stars territory. But Kevin Thomas, the point guard, will pull it up. He works the ball down low to Diaz. Diaz with a beautiful give and go there to Andy Diaz to Adrian Diaz, and it is 10-9 Miami. So now we've got a whistle on the floor here. I think the ball went out of bounds, and it looks like went out of bounds off the foot of a Space Coast. No, the referees got together. They changed it, checked that, and I'm going to make a correction here on myself because I believe it is Andy Diaz, and it is Andy Diaz and Adrian Diaz. My apologies. Diaz's. I don't know if they're related. Space Coast inbounds. Trailing by one here, 10-9, 7:12 to play. And we're going to get our second foul call of the game. This one on number 5, Kevin Thomas. So 2 fouls now to Miami. As Galvin Jr. looks to inbound, he does to Shannon. Hands the ball immediately back off to Galvin Jr. He looks, he finds Shannon in the corner. Shannon with a good-looking jumper that won't go. Rebound to Miami. Miami immediately back down with it. Thomas over to Thomas. Thomas back for 3. Shot off the back of the rim. Rebound Terrence Shannon. So we've got a Ty Thomas, a Kevin Thomas, and 2 Diaz's on the floor as Andy Diaz takes the loose ball, headmans the pass down to Kevin Thomas, who can't hang on to it. Ball out of bounds back to the Space Coast Stars. So with 6:41 to play, we're end-to-end action here at the Bethany Christian School down here off of 192 in West Melbourne, I believe we're in. And the Space Coast Stars, Stephen Galvin, brings the ball across the midcourt stripe, but that's going to be a charge on Galvin and his first foul of the contest. So 6:31 to play here in the Miami Midnight. The 2-time defending champions of this league lead the home team Stars 10-9. Miami working the ball just inside the half-court line, right before the top of the three-point circle, back to the top of the three-point circle. Inside, out to the left wing is Kevin Thomas. He shoots and scores, and that is 12-9 now for the Space Coast Stars. He kissed that one off the glass. The Stars immediately back down. They throw a pass, nice control, but the ball inbounded back to Miami, who loses control, and the Stars get it back. That is Corbin Jackson, who finds number 45 underneath Anthony Jackson, and it's 12-11. So a 1-point game here with 5 minutes to play. And now with an errant pass down low, the Stars with an opportunity to take the lead once again. They haven't led since the 8-minute mark of this, following a 3-point shot that put them ahead 9-8. For the Stars now, Corbin Jackson is in the game, the FIT product. As Galvin finds, that's Anthony Jackson driving the lane. He puts the ball up. It will not go. He will be fouled on the play by number 6. That's Antonio Hester, who's checked in. And that will send Jackson to the free throw line. Jackson looking for his 3rd point of the game. 12-11 here with 5:29 to play in the first period. Boy, this is unbelievably quick action.
Yeah. Yeah, if the name Anthony Jackson sounds familiar, he played for Coach Mike Sullivan of the Melbourne Bulldogs a number of years ago, or a few years ago, and he is a good one.
Yeah, well, you were telling me about him when we came in tonight. Interesting to see how many of the local kids stayed home, Steve. Stayed right here in Brevard County to play for the Space Coast Stars.
Yeah, there are quite a few on Coach Chuck Agee's squad that are from Brevard County.
Anthony Jackson missed the first one. The second one will kiss off the front, hit the back, and drop in. And our score is tied now with 5:25 to play in the first quarter. A dozen aside for each team here. We got a foul. What's the ref going to call? He's going to call. Yeah, he's going to call a hold on the play. He's going to call that on Anthony Jackson. That's going to be Jackson's first of the night. So Jackson converts a free throw on one end and picks up a foul on the other. As right now, the fouls are 3 fouls for the Miami Midnight, 1 foul for, actually need to check that because that's going to be 2 fouls. Galvin Jr. picked up a foul. But for Miami at the moment, they are working the ball at the top of the 3-point line. Working it is number 4, Amir Seston, who drives in, and he's going to get caught for a push-off, and the ball will go back to the Space Coast Stars. So Amir Seston picks up his first foul of the game, and it's 12-12 as Corbin Jackson down low looks to drive, but he loses control of the ball. But is in there is Anthony Jackson to take the ball away. So Jackson saving Jackson there. Anthony Jackson dribbling. He's in the lane, up with it, about midway point. The ball won't go. Rebound to the Miami Midnight. Across the half-point line, or half-court line, is Seston. Seston over to Thomas. Thomas over back to Thomas again. And the bucket will drop. It's 14-12 Miami. Dribbling inside now is number 5 for the Space Coast Stars. The bucket will not go. That's Amir Thomas. Thomas misses all the way back, quickly back down the other end. Shot no good. Rebound, Space Coast Stars. As here comes Anthony Jackson to work the ball across the midcourt stripe. But his pass will go errant, and it'll be back over the midcourt stripe. So with 4:10 to play here in the first quarter, it is Miami with a 2-point 14-12 lead. And checking in for Miami is going to be George Gray. He's going to check in at the point guard position. So, inbounding the ball there is number 4, Amir Seston. He will bring the ball across. He will hand to the newly checked in George Gray. Gray hands the ball off there to number 3. That is Miguel Paul. Shot up by Paul, no good. Ball dribbles out of bounds. Let's see who the officials say. It goes off a Space Coast Stars player, so Miami retains possession as Amir Seston looks to inbound the ball. Seston smacks the ball. He looks for somebody to get it into. He does. Great defense down low there by number 15 for the Space Coast Stars. That's Byron Thompson. Thompson with great defense on the play, forces the turnover, and the Stars now inbound. So right now, Galvin Jr. in a little bit of trouble trying to get the ball across the timeline. He does, but the pass is thrown away there, picked off by number 11. That's Keon Palmer. Palmer back inside. Palmer up, and he'll be fouled on the play as he goes up for the shot for the Miami Midnight, sending him to the line. It looks like number 6 going to be called for the foul for the Space Coast Stars. Maybe it was number 5. It had to be number 5, Amir Thomas, on the foul there. So that is the Stars' 3rd foul of the game. At the line right now is number 11, Keon Palmer for Miami, and he sinks the first one to give the Midnight a 3-point 15-12 lead with 3:25 to play here in the opening quarter. I don't like to make comparisons, but the build, the makeup of number 11, Keon Palmer for Miami, reminds me, not nearly as tall, but he's got that frame of Manute Bol, sort of. All right, Space Coast with the ball, 16-12. They trail. They have numbers, though, coming back. Inside there is Thomas. Oh, and the ball is going to be rejected by Palmer as Space Coast tried to go up for an easy one. That's a 3-point shot there by number 4 for Miami. That's Amir Seston, who drains the 3. Right now, Miami's on a 7-0 run, Steve, and as a result, head coach Chuck Agee calls a timeout here. 19-12 with 3:05 to play in the first, Steve.
Good timeout called by Coach Agee. The kids are playing well. The kids, I'm used to high school. The men are playing well, but they have that little spurt by the Miami Midnights. We were talking at the outset. They had a 25-game winning streak snapped last time they played. How are they going to react? They're playing pretty good basketball here in the first quarter.
Yeah, no question about it. Nip and tuck there for the first 9 minutes, 8 minutes and 55 seconds in the first quarter. And again, Miami pulling out on a 7-0 run right now. While we have this minute, though, let me tell you that this portion of the Friday Night Locker Room brought to you by Space Coast Tire. Space Coast Tire is an automotive repair service located at 1732 South Huntington Lane in Rockledge. Batteries, tires, brakes, oil changes, alignments, and more. Call Space Coast Tire 321-639-4008. So, with 3:05 to play here in the opening quarter, Miami with a 19-12 lead as Space Coast looks to inbound. That's Byron Thompson on the inbound pass there, and he gets the ball into number 5, Amir Thomas, and immediately the ball is stolen and taken back by the Miami Midnight. That's number 6, Antonio Hester with the bucket. 21-12 Miami. There's Corbin Jackson immediately back up with it for Space Coast, and he stops the run at 9-0, 21-14. But Miami, just because the running points have stopped doesn't mean Miami stopped running. 21-14 here with 2:33 to play in the opening quarter. And as George Gray drives in the lane for Miami, he's going to be fouled on the play there. That I believe, let me check the number, by number 34. That is Mustafa Hussein. So it's Mustafa Hussein. I want to make sure I say his name right. All right, so Miami inbounds the ball. Each team now with 3 team fouls. Good looking, no look, up in the air pass there, but it's picked off by Mustafa Hussein. Hussein takes the ball down. He's going to have his pass picked off by George Gray of Miami. Gray over to Palmer. Palmer loses control of it. Ball out of bounds and back to the Space Coast Sharks. 2:11 to play here. The Miami Midnight currently on a 9-2 run and lead it 21-14. Space Coast inbounds the ball. Bringing it up is going to be Mustafa Hussein. He is across the timeline, dribbles down the middle, up, and fouled by, it looks like, I believe, Palmer. It's going to be the, he's going to call it on 23, I heard the referee say, or maybe number 3. Yeah, it's going to be on number 3. Check that. Number 3 for Miami, and that's Miguel Paul, as Mustafa Hussein goes to the line, and he doesn't hit the first one.
Got a little grin on his face. He missed iron.
He missed it all on that one. I wasn't quite sure how to phrase that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's live stream. I think everybody saw it.
Everybody saw it, right? I forget the live stream's kicking. Yeah, he didn't do anything on that one. On this one, looks like we're going to have a lane violation here. No. It is a lane violation, but it's against the Space Coast Stars. Subsequently, the bucket is no good. The score will remain 21-14. So Space Coast inbounds here. Working the ball up the floor across the timeline as George Gray gets the ball in. Dribbles to the left side of the three-point circle, and they are just giving and going. The lane was wide open in the middle there. Gray with a jumper inside, but no, elects to pass it to Palmer. Palmer goes up with it, but no good. And Space Coast immediately back down the court. Corbin Jackson dribbles down on the baseline, but has the ball stolen there. That by number 4, Amir Seston. And wow, what a play there, huh, Steve?
That was big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah. He doesn't. He converts it. The foul is good. He's going to go to the line. That was just that was good looking stuff right there. As number 6 goes to the free throw line, and that is, if you saw that on the live stream, that was awfully impressive. That is Antonio Hester. And it's now a 10-point lead for Miami. Space Coast looking to do something here. Jackson hands off to Jackson, and Anthony Jackson on the assist from Corbin Jackson makes the score 24-16, stopping the bleeding a little bit here, but Miami right back down the court. Palmer, the big guy now with it, swinging the elbows around, gets the ball back out to number 3. That's Miguel Paul. Paul up with a shot, no good, off the back of the iron. Rebound, though, offensive rebound to Gray. Gray up and in, and it's 26-16, less than a minute to play here in the opening quarter. Long cross-court pass there as number 3 for the Space Coast Stars converts on the layup. That's Brian Brown, and it's 26-18 with 40 seconds to play here. Miami, there's no shot clock. So Miami looking to, I apologize. There's a shot clock over there on the wall. Miami looking to, I didn't know if they turned it off. Miami, 17 seconds to go on the shot clock here with 35.8 seconds to play in the first quarter. 26-18, and at the free throw line for Miami will be George Gray. Gray with 2 points on the afternoon so far. Gray with the first one. He drops in his third to get the Miami lead back to 9 points. So 27-18 here. The Space Coast Stars now with 5 team fouls, 4 for the Heat. And Gray, nothing but the bottom of the net there, and extends the Miami lead to 10 points once again. Still, the two-time defending champion with great defensive pressure both in Space Coast's zone and in their own zone, and it forces yet another Space Coast turnover as Gray with the around the back 360 layup there to give Miami a 30-18 lead. Corbin Jackson then immediately converts as it's now 30-20 with less than 10 seconds to play here in the opening quarter. And I'm going to need this end of the quarter to catch my breath because there's been 50 points scored here in the first quarter as Gray dribbles the lane, but there to block it away and unfortunately calls a foul was Corbin Jackson. But they're saying it's not in the act of shooting, so he will not go to the line. So 0.8 seconds. This has got to be in and up, and it is. Oh, and they almost converted the bucket, did Miami, as number 6, Antonio Hester, with a shot to do it there. So at the end of the first quarter, the Miami Midnight 30, the Space Coast Stars 20, Steve.
Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office provides representation for members of the public who have suffered head trauma or brain or spinal cord injury. Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office is located in Rockledge at 830 Executive Lane, Suite 140. The phone number for Jim Knutson, 632-2722. We'd also like to thank Community Bank of the South. They have 3 locations, one at 277 North Sykes Creek Parkway in Merritt Island, one on State Road 524 in Cocoa, and the other at 1902 South Fisk Boulevard in Rockledge. Community Bank of the South provides personal banking, online banking, business banking, commercial and residential loans, and other service. Community Bank of the South is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured. The website, cbosdirect.com. Once again, I'm Steve Wilson along with Anthony.
Anthony. Hey, my middle name is Anthony.
Alan Anthony Slaughterzinski.
There it is.
A special Saturday evening edition of the Friday Night Locker Room. Basketball, running, shooting. There are some athletes on the court here at Bethany Christian in Melbourne.
My score sheet is shot. I go to put a score down, I look up, I'm missing 4 more points. But I can tell you that I know that Adrian Diaz for the Miami Midnight so far with 7 points on my score sheet. And for the Space Coast Stars, you look at what they've done so far. Of course, Stephen Galvin having a good game, and Terrence Shannon with 4 points. Anthony Jackson leading the way for the Space Coast Stars. By my count, he's got 7 points as well, Steve.
Live streaming on spacecoastdaily.com. 99.9% of the time it's audio only. Tonight, live streaming. It's the wave of the future. We are heading in that direction.
All right, Space Coast here kicks off the second quarter. Oh, that's a hard foul there by Palmer. And he asked the referee if he's sure that he got the arm. From this angle, I'm sure he did.
And our viewers saw it as well.
But nonetheless, he sends into the line Anthony Jackson, who was fouled on the play. Jackson looking to pick up his 8th and 9th points of the night as the Space Coast Stars here trail 30-20 with 11:54 to play in the half. And Anthony Jackson does indeed hit the first one as the ball kisses off the back of the rim, goes straight up, and falls through. So 30-21 now as the lead is cut to single digits. Jackson concentrates, focus, fires, nothing but net. 30-22 now as the Miami Midnight look to get the lead back to 10 here. Staying in the game for the Midnight will be George Gray. And checking in also is number 9, Kevin Foster. He's a shooting guard. So Foster back to Gray. Over to number 3. That number 3 is Miguel Paul, who lays it up. No good. Rebound, Terrence Shannon. Shannon, the veteran from Valenzuela. Oh, and Gray stole the ball from Mustafa Hussein and laid it up and in to get the lead back to 10. But Terrence Shannon, I was talking to him for a couple of minutes before the game, just came back from Venezuela as the ball deep over here in the corner. Good looking 3 point. I don't know if that's a 3 or not. It's a 2. That was a good looking 2-point shot there. That was number 22 for the Space Coast Stars. That's Corey Williams. Corey Williams from Allen University, Corey Williams.
And Corey Williams is also the owner of the team.
Is he? I did not know that. There's Corey Williams there. Give and go to Corbin Jackson, and the Stars are on a little run here as they have now cut the deficit 32-26. It's an 8-point lead with 10:40 to play in the half as the Miami Midnight get the ball across the timeline.
Corey Williams, a former star at Astronaut High School, is now the owner of the team. That's pretty impressive. Mid-20s, and he still enjoys playing. I asked him before the game, are you going to play today? He said, we're playing Midnight. The Midnight, I'm going to play.
Yeah. And you know, what it takes, Steve, I mean, from an organizational standpoint, to put this together, to keep this running, very impressive from Corey's part. All right, 32-26 here. It's a 6-point lead now. Miami looking to get back out to that 8, 10, 12-point range, but they missed their shot. And Corey from 3-point range for the Stars, no good, as Corbin Jackson looks to hit the ball out. He gets it, though, but it goes to a Miami Midnight. Miami dribbles down the lane, and no good. That's number 9 there, Kevin Foster. Foster does, though, follow up his shot for the 2, 34-26, 9:57 to play as Anthony Jackson brings the ball. He hands off to Corbin Jackson. Jackson turns, dribbles in. Oh, they're going to call a travel on that. I only saw 2 steps here. I think I was enamored with seeing Corbin Jackson playing. And, of course, Corbin Jackson, the Defensive Player of the Year again, Steve, for FIT.
Yeah, we all remember him from his Viera Hawks playing days, but he's made a name for himself at the collegiate level. He'll be playing professionally, probably overseas next year. He's a good one.
Talking to Terrence Shannon before the game, and I mentioned Corbin, and he said, you know, he plans to work with him to teach him what he can expect once he gets overseas. So, again, on this team that Corey has assembled and Coach Agee, some veterans, some young talent, good leadership. Back in the game for Miami is Adrian Diaz, and Diaz went up for the dunk, but he was fouled on the play. I have to check the number on the foul, but it's 34-26 as Diaz misses his first one. 9:33 to play here, and he misses both. Rebound to Corey. Corey kicks the ball out to his point guard is Stephen Galvin. Galvin gets the ball down to Anthony Jackson, and he's going to be fouled as he tries to drive the baseline there by number 9, Kevin Foster of the Miami Midnight. So we are back to fouls per quarter. So there's now 2 fouls apiece for each team. That ball inbounded by Terrence Shannon, but it goes off of a Miami Midnight. So Shannon will have an opportunity to inbound the ball one more time. He gets the ball out to Galvin. Galvin back to Shannon, but the ball comes to the Space Coast Daily Friday Night Locker Room table, and I saved the day.
No, hey, it hit my foot.
Good looking pass inside to the Miami Midnight there as number 12 Adrian Diaz slams it home, and the lead is back to 10 points again for the defending champions. Galvin now, little push off there, he gets away with. Oh, nice no look pass inside to Corbin Jackson, but the ball will go off the foot of Adrian Diaz. That's a kick, can't do that. Ball back to Space Coast. I'm kidding, Steve did save the day. Oh, well, kind of a pass there you got to come to if you saw it at home. Corbin Jackson making up for his miscue at this end as Corey tries to save the ball but inbounds it back to Miami. Miami, three-point shot here, no good. Rebound, Space Coast. That shot there by Kevin Foster kicked off the back of the rim. Terrence Shannon with the rebound for Space Coast. 8:20 to play here in the first half. 36-26, the Miami Midnight. End-to-end action here. 13 to go on the shot clock. Anthony Jackson at the top of the three-point circle there. Gets the ball over to Terrence Shannon. Shannon with the shot off the back of the rim, and Miami now 2-on-2 as Gray looks to drive the baseline, gets the ball back out there to number 3. He shoots a 3, no good, off the rim by Miguel Paul, but they're going to call a foul here, a push on number 12. That's the big guy, Adrian Diaz. That's his 3rd foul, Steve. Now, he's got 9 points on the night, but that's his 3rd foul. Coach Wilcox having a word with the official. Coach Wilcox just wants to know what happened there. All right, Space Coast looking to cut the deficit to single digits again. Corbin Jackson in the lane, into Anthony Jackson, who kisses it off the glass, 36-28 as Jackson to Jackson there. Miami immediately back across the timeline and pushing the offensive play here as they have throughout much of the game there. That's Kevin Foster up with the shot, no good. Diaz with the rebound, though, and he puts it back in. 38-28, Miami ahead. I'm learning the names. Steve gave me a good heads up on the Space Coast Stars roster. I got the Miami roster about 40 minutes before the game started. Terrence Shannon drives on that one. I don't believe they're going to call the shot. Foul before the shot. He was fouled again by number 12. If I'm reading the official right, that's Adrian Diaz. And Steve, by my count, that'd be his 4th foul.
If it is, he's got to come out. He is coming out. I don't know if that, you may be accurate. Clock shows 7:11 to go before halftime. Yeah. Stars down by 8, 38-30 to the Miami Midnights.
Terrence Shannon back at the line. He hit his 2 free throws earlier, nothing but net on both of them. Shannon back up with his 3rd one. He will miss. That's a 1-and-1 opportunity there. Or I'm sorry, that was his 2nd free throw, and he missed them both. The Miami Midnight now working their offensive plays. Checking in is number 13, Ty Thomas for Adrian Diaz. Long pass the length of the court as Corbin Jackson looked to find Anthony Jackson. And the ball is tipped away by Amir Seston of the Miami Midnight off his fingertips. So Space Coast will retain possession. 6:50 to play here in the first half. And it's interesting. And I'll tell you my point here in just a second when we get a chance, is Anthony Jackson fires a long jumper. No good. Miami with the rebound. It's interesting to see because we watched Corbin this year, and and you're right, Steve, he's going to be a great player. He's going to play overseas professionally. But it's interesting to see him adjust to the speed from having come from FIT to this level because this is a little bit faster.
Yeah, he was recently offered the chance to play in Chile. 2-point shot up and good. Play in Chile over the summer. Chose not to do that. He has a 9-month-old daughter. He didn't want to miss her seeing taking her first steps. And there's certain things over the summer you just can't get back. So you have to, like what Corbin has chosen to do. He's going to stay home, take care of his little girl. And then the opportunity to play professional ball is going to come.
And that you can't teach, Steve. You can't teach character.
Right.
As that's a good-looking shot there by Terrence Shannon. Kind of a jump hook there. It goes 40-32. 5:57 to play here in the first half as looked like Amir Seston tried to go up for a dunk, and Anthony Jackson wouldn't have it. Knocked the ball out of bounds. Seston inbounds. Gray from 3. That was good. That looked like 3 from here. We'll see where the clock goes. Nope, it's just a 2. So the lead back to 10 for Miami, 42-32. As I got to tell you, the speed of these 2 point guards in the game right now is great. Stephen Galvin Jr. and George Gray really having a battle here. If you're watching the stream, you can really see the battle these two are having. All right, inbounding the ball there is Corey Williams. He gets it to Shannon. Shannon shoots off the front of the rim, rebound Miami. They are immediately back up the court. But number 7 for the Miami Midnight, Andy Diaz tries to go in, and Terrence Shannon says, no. Knocks the ball out of bounds. 5:29 to play here, 42-32. The Midnight ahead. 2-time league champion Miami Midnight. That is number 3 inbounding the ball there, Kevin Thomas. He does so. He gets the ball up to number 13, Ty Thomas, in to number 7, Andy Diaz, who converts the pass to a layup, up and in, 44-32. The largest lead of the game for the Miami Midnight, 12. Alley-oop pass there from Galvin to Jackson, no good. Rebound to Miami. Miami loses control of the ball as Corey Williams has numbers, 3-on-1. Williams bounce pass to Jackson, over to number 8 there. That is Rodney Williams, no good. The one defender on the play. Great positioning. He held his feet, Steve, and consequently was able to knock the ball out of bounds. 44-32 with 4:56 to play here in the half. Space Coast Stars trailing by 12. Still, there's the three-point shot from Williams, no good. Now in the game for Space Coast is number 32. That is Daryl. I have to get that name. Darnell Brown. Daryl Brown. Corey Williams with a 2, long 2, no good. Rebound to Diaz. Diaz gets the ball up to Seston. Seston pulls it up with 4:26 to play here, and then he takes it in. Looked like he traveled, but he didn't. He gets the shot up over the defender. That is number 24, Lennon Weinbrenner, who is checked back into the game for Space Coast. The long shot there from Anthony Jackson is no good, and Miami with numbers now looking to really push this lead up. They miss. Weinbrenner with the rebound. He starts the break here. He gets the ball up to, that's number 32 there, Darnell Brown. I missed how he converted that, but the net, that was a three-point shot, good-looking shot. The net is all backwards down here, so it's 46-35. I looked down for 1 second, and I missed the three-point shot. 46-35, Miami ahead. Driving the lane for Miami is number 13, Ty Thomas. He does not get the ball to fall. Brown, though, will bring the ball all the way back down the court. Hands off to Jackson right over here by our table. Into Weinbrenner. Weinbrenner out to Williams. Williams slows it down a little bit. Weinbrenner sets the pick, but did not turn back inside for the pick and roll there. And unfortunately, Corey Williams threw the ball away. So it's 46-35 with 3:18 to play here in the opening half. The action is fast and furious, Steve.
But Corey Williams is the owner, so who's going to get on to him for throwing it away?
Nobody.
He's not going to. Coach says come out. He's going to say,
Not playing, Coach. Coach Agee standing up there. He's got the towel over the shoulder. An imposing figure, Chuck Agee. Calls a timeout here with 3:18. Oh, a technical foul. We got a technical foul here. Who's the technical on?
I didn't see who it was called on, but a T was called.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it sure was.
This is the first free throw. Now they'll inbound the ball on the side.
I'll have to check that to see who that technical was on. I wonder if it was on Coach. But anyway, obviously the technical wasn't made. It's 46-35. Interesting technical because Space Coast gets the ball back. So anyway, Weinbrenner into Corbin Jackson. Jackson back out to Darnell Brown. Brown misses the shot. Weinbrenner tries for the rebound. He cannot get it. Corey Williams, though, will steal away, and now he's got numbers. And Brown goes up and has his shot blocked, and he throws the ball. Good-looking defensive play there by Gray. Gray with no opportunity to keep that ball, so he throws the ball off of Corey Williams, who's laying out of bounds. Perfect. Gray checks out. Checking in is number 3. That is going to be Miguel Paul for Miami, as well as number 5 checks back in. That is Kevin Thomas. So Thomas to Paul are your guards. You actually got a 3-guard set in there right now, as number 4, Amir Seston, is in the game too. So 3, 4, and 5 just wheeling it around top of the three-point line. And I got to tell you, that's a good-looking shot there by Kevin Thomas, who has nothing but 3. And the lead is 14 for Miami at 49-35 with 2:25 to play. Brown with a 2-point shot of his own gets it back to 12 at 49-37. The pass inside, deflected by Corbin Jackson. Brown with numbers to Mustafa. Back to Corbin Jackson, who goes to dunk it, but he's fouled on the play. The dunk doesn't fall. He picks up the foul from number 6, Antonio Hester, sending Corbin Jackson to the free throw line. Saw a lot of that this year for head coach Billy Mims over at FIT, with Jackson finishing plays like that. His first free throw attempt is no good. So it's 49-37 here. Miami with a 12-point lead. 2:09 to play in the half. Jackson misses both attempts, but Space Coast with the rebound. Gets the ball back into Jackson. Can't get it to fall. And Space Coast with great defense, great hustle, but ultimately Miami ends up with the ball. And they're going to pull it up with under 2 minutes to play here. What an alley-oop pass inside there, but it does not go as Corbin Jackson blocks that off the glass. Number 32 there is Darnell Brown. He drives inside to Corbin Jackson, and there is your highlight reel dunk on the give and go from Brown to Jackson, Steve.
That was beautiful, just like you draw it up at practice.
That's exactly right. Got our photographer, Aaron Lampkin, here. I hope he got that shot. All right, 1:20 to play here, 49-39, as the Space Coast Stars have cut the Miami lead to 10. 1 second to go on the shot clock, and number 6, Antonio Hester, drops a 2 to make it 51-39 with a minute to go here. Brown, all kinds of room down the middle, looks to dish to Jackson, then does not go. He has the balls taken away. Space Coast tries to get the ball back on the defensive side of the floor. Instead, the ball goes off their foot, out of bounds. So with 53.4 seconds to play, Miami will inbound under their own basket. 14 to go on the shot clock here. Miami inbounds. 3, 4, and 5 is Thomas, Seston, and Paul are your guards. Corbin Jackson with a good-looking hustle play there, knocks the ball back out of bounds. 47.5, 8 to go on the shot clock. That is Kevin Thomas, looks to 4 to go. Seston up with it with 1 second to go on the shot clock to get the lead back to 14 points again for the Miami Midnight with 30 seconds to play here. Space Coast looking to make a late close here as number 30 for Mustafa Hussein drills a 2-point shot, 53-41, under 16 seconds to go here. 15 on the shot clock. The shot clock and the game clock are exactly on cue here. So obviously Miami going to play for the final shot before the half. 6 to go here. Seston being guarded heavily there. He shoots, no good. Rebound. Space Coast. There's the buzzer. That's the end of the half with the Miami Midnight leading 53-41, Steve. What? I mean, we're talking 94 first half points here.
Yeah, it's pretty much what we expected. No surprise, the number of points. Stars came out playing strong basketball at the beginning. The Miami hit that spurt to I think they hit 7 points in a row at one point to pull out to a 19-12 lead, and they've had that advantage ever since. Enjoy a double-digit lead up by 12 over Space Coast, but a team like Space Coast that has scored 41 points, and we've seen them score a lot of points this year. It's not a safe lead by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
I like Miami. I like their height. I like their speed.
Yeah.
They're a very good basketball team, and they've really reacted well coming off of their first loss in 25 games.
Smart. Very smart, too. They seem to have a knack for being able to find that open man. Which, again, you can't teach on a basketball court. It's about being heady out there when you play in Miami. Obviously, a 25-game winning streak recently snapped. Two-time defending league champ has that. And Coach Damon Wilcox, not much, I'm sure, Steve, to adjust.
No, it can't be. We're going to keep our live stream going at halftime, focusing on the court. We're thinking you'd probably rather watch an empty court than look at me and you.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There's no question about that.
But we would like to thank DeCandio and Associates, Allstate Insurance. They have two locations, one in Port St. John at 950 Fay Boulevard, and the other in Mims at 3239 North Highway US 1 for auto, home, life investments, disability, plus boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, or renters insurance. Jennifer DeCandio, agency principal and associates, Allstate Insurance. We'd also like to thank, who else but our title sponsor, Mike Urban of Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac. Their dealership is located on the 520 Causeway, Merritt Island. Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac is an authorized sales service for new Nissan and Cadillac products, and it carries a line of used cars and trucks. We're going to take a short break. During this station break, throw it to Alan, head coach of the Miami Midnight. Alan, take it away.
We're here with head coach of the Miami Midnight, Damon Wilcox. Coach, 53-41. Boy, you said your team plays an up-tempo game here. I can't keep up. Talk about what you like about what your team did in the first half.
Well, I like the way we came out with a sense of urgency. Now it's not always doesn't always equal into making smart plays, but at least we're playing with the activity level and energy level that we need to do to get out here and right the wrongs that we've been talking about, working on the things. We're playing a fast-paced game, but again, I would like to do a little better decision-making. Once we do run, we don't want to run without a purpose. We want to run with a purpose and make good decisions. But, yeah, we're here to run fast. We are.
Coach, obviously you said you came out with a sense of urgency. You're coming off of having a 25-game winning streak snap. Was there any concerns coming in here that, how quickly your team could blow that loss off? Were you concerned about that at all?
Extremely concerned. It's ironic you asked me that because, we talked about not getting comfortable. We've been preaching to the guys about, not getting complacent and not thinking that you're better than what you are. Because every time we play a team, we're their Super Bowl. And if you want to beat the Midnights, that makes your season. Right. So, again, we got to guard against complacency. And the human nature element, you can't get out the bus and just feel, okay, we're here. And nobody's going to lay down for the Midnights just because, everybody wants to beat the Midnights. So, again, we talk about guarding against complacency. And it's hard. I understand how it is because, sometimes we get better games against each other in practice than we do against some of the teams that we play. But, again, you have to be a professional. And it's all about being a professional about this.
Coach, the thing that impresses me about your squad and about you is the humble nature. As good as you are, two-time defending champions, how do you keep your guys focused and centered on the task ahead instead of, you get a lot of glory hounds?
Well, the thing about that is that's how I live my everyday life. You got to earn what you want. And nobody's going to give you anything, but you have to remain humble because it can all get snatched away from you in a moment's instant. And then you're right back where you were, maybe even further back behind. So, you got to take it one game at a time, live your life one day at a time, and remain humble and continue to stay true to what your values are and do what you believe in. And if you continue to do that, then you give yourself a chance to be in position for something good to happen.
One thing you want your team to be better in the second half?
Defensive intensity. We're giving up too many straight line drives to the hole. And making better decisions in transition. Like I said, sometimes we get into the rim 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and we acting like we're in middle school sometimes. No disrespect to the middle school players, but we act like we're in middle school supposed to be pro ball players.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. We'll get a word with you after the game. Coach Wilcox, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Alan. Big first half by the Midnight. Coach has to feel pleased. I like the way he stays grounded. His team stays grounded. That's okay. They're good. They know they're good. But they don't flaunt it. They're up by 12 at halftime, and I know as solid as they're playing. We've seen the Stars play good basketball games. This game is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but Miami's come out and looked sharp in the first half.
You know, when you have a head coach that does keep you, I guess, grounded like that, you know, it's tough to – you look at the guys right now, there's well, what did I say? You know, they're not chest thumping. It is a task at hand. There's a second half yet left to play. And we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a word with head coach Chuck Agee here as he comes out of the locker room in a couple of minutes with the Space Coast Stars and see how he's going to handle that.
Good move, Alan. I picked that up on the video. I flipped it around. How about that? It's Lauderzinski speed. Coach saw that. He's going to say, give that man a green jersey.
I'll be in bed tomorrow. See if I can get down here and get a word with Coach Agee.
See if you can bring him down here.
All right.
Clock shows 3:36 before halftime. It's the Miami Midnites 53, the Space Coast Stars 41. Exciting first half, a lot of points, 94 points in the first half alone, and don't be surprised if we come close to matching that again. Alan?
All right, Coach. We're here with Coach Chuck Agee, the Space Coast Stars coach. Obviously, you're trailing at this point. What did you tell your team in the locker room? How do you guys come out in the second half and overcome this deficit?
Well, keep up the intensity. First of all, we have to do a better job of helping the helper on defense. Okay, no second shots. Playing a little bit more intensity. Rebounding the ball. Small things.
Now, you come into this game today, I just talked to Coach Wilcox, you know, the two-time the champions, 25-game winning streak. We know about all that. Your guys know that they can play with this team. They can run with this team. What do you expect to see from your team in the second half?
Oh, like I said, another great half of basketball. We don't turn that dang ball over, and we'll be fine. Just take care of the rock, rebound, keep them out the middle of the floor. Like I told you, they're a great shooter. Yeah. They're a great shooting team. So you leave them open, they're going to knock those things down. So that's it.
Coach Agee, thank you so much. We'll talk to you after the game. Back to you, Steve.
That is Chuck Agee, head coach of the Space Coast Stars. If he sounds familiar, if he looks familiar, he roams the sidelines with Randy Howlick in the fall at Astronaut High School. He is a War Eagle in the fall. Now, during the spring and the summer, he is a Space Coast Star.
You know, the dedication, we were talking about it today, Steve, the dedication to the coaches in Brevard County and really everywhere to do what he does, and now he's got spring ball. It's an incredible schedule that they keep.
Yeah, it really is. It's nonstop. It's almost 12 months out of the year we talk about it. The coaches and administrators, they may be 10-month employees or work while school's in, but we know they all work more than that. It's just the dedication these coaches have and administrators for their schools and for their sport, which we're seeing out of Coach Agee, is very special. People like that are in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, and you look in the passion and intensity. And you know what? Almost a coach like that sees a deficit like this, Steve, and you can see the fire in his eyes to want to teach his guys something about how to come back from something like this. It's almost as if he welcomed the opportunity, Steve, to come out and challenge these guys in the second half.
Yeah, and we've seen them respond. They played a very good Florida team about 6 weeks ago at the Amway Center in Orlando. Fell behind early, came back and won the basketball game. So we've seen the Stars respond when they're down. They're capable of doing that. Now we see some new faces on the Stars. There are 2 or 3 players or 4 players that played with them 6 weeks ago that are either injured or are not here today. So it's a little bit different makeup, and that's quite common at basketball at this level. It's rare when you have the same players, the same team come out game after game. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. As we watch this ball come into play here, dribble slowly across the court.
We're going to pick it up.
There it is.
How about that, Tom Palermo?
Yeah. Tom, how are you? Tom, of course, Tom Palermo back at Sports Center in Merritt Island doing a fantastic job.
Once again, live streaming this afternoon. The overwhelming majority of the times it's audio only. We set up early and looked at each other and said, let's live stream and see what happens.
When we, hopefully who knows what the future holds. I just hope the future doesn't hold where they have to look at my ugly mug for any length of time.
No, I don't see that happening. But we laugh, but the technology with the way it is, it's coming to video.
Yeah.
It's watching. Listening to a ball game can be exciting, but it's just evolving. It's
Yep.
coming into people at some point in the future, and in the future maybe now, they want to watch the game, and they can watch it on their phone. That's what's amazing. I'm
Yep.
sitting here watching what we're doing on my phone to make sure things are going accurately. So just technology this day and age is just unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is, you know what, this is a nice facility here. This first time when you told me this was the first time you've been here, I couldn't believe that there was a gym in Brevard County that I actually attended with Steve Wilson for the first time. But this is a nice little facility they have here.
Yeah, it really is. And Tom says, yes, he is watching.
Yes, yes, yeah, yes, and it's a video thing now, so very happy about that. All right, with the starters here, it looks like the starters for the Miami Midnight coming back in. It looks like Adrian Diaz, and I did kind of ask Coach there. Yes, he does have 4 fouls. Adrian Diaz comes back in. That's number 12. Ty Thomas, number 13. We've got number 4, Amir Seston, and number 5, Kevin Thomas. As Space Coast inbounds to start the second half, trailing 53-41 with 11:50 to play here. All right, we've got Anthony Jackson, Terrence Shannon, and Shannon immediately throws the ball off of Diaz, and we'll have an opportunity to inbound here. Your point guard is Stephen Galvin Jr., along with the team owner, Corey Williams, is your shooting guard, and it looks like the number 4 over here on the far right-hand side. I can't see him, but Anthony Jackson goes up with a nice shot, no good, rebounded by Diaz. The player I couldn't see there was number 3 for Space Coast. And if you're looking for, that's Brian Brown. If you're looking for leading scorers and stats for me at the moment, yeah.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. If all I did in this particular game here, Steve, was keep stats, I would not see anything. But this is a lot of fun here, and I love an opportunity to be able to do this. So much thanks to Steve Wilson and the Friday Night Locker Room for having me along on a Saturday night. The Miami Midnight, 2-time league defending champion. They get the ball deep inside there. That is the Big Diaz. The Big Diaz gets the ball over to, that is number 5, Kevin Thomas. I'm sorry, check that. Not number 5. That's number 13, Ty Thomas. He goes up with it. Can't control it. The ball goes out of bounds. Terrence Shannon for Space Coast will now inbound. He does so to the guard, Terrence Galvin Jr. Galvin Jr. crosses the timeline. He looks to hand off to Jackson. He will not. He will hold on to it. 15 to go on the shot clock. Galvin up with it, off the back of the rim. Nice looking rebound by Corey Williams, but it's swatted away by the 6'11 Diaz. And, well, the good news is that Space Coast retains possession. The bad news is the ball was swatted about 25 feet. Ball inbounded by Terrence Shannon to Corey Williams. He backs it up, slows it down. 15 on the shot clock. He fires a nice-looking 3. Had a good rotation on it. Just kissed off the front of the rim. The ball goes out of bounds. The Miami Midnight to control.
We talked about Corey Williams. He is the owner of the Space Coast Stars. Interesting story. He's actually being mentored by Mark King, who's the owner of the Florida Flight. And, of course, Greg Kite, 2-time NBA champion, is the commissioner of the FBA. But Corey's got some really good people that are working with him in a leadership position. He used to be a full-time player. He was offered 4 jobs overseas playing basketball, turned them all down because he has a small family, and he wants to be with the kids. He's not ready to take them overseas, but Corey's a neat guy. He's one of the good guys.
Yeah, I'd never met him. You introduced me, and it was like as if I had known him for 6, 8, 10 months and been talking to him. It was great.
He was just an outstanding basketball player at Astronaut High School a number of years ago, but now owns the team, takes a lot of advice from Mark King and Greg Kite, and has done very well with the Space Coast Stars team. We've
got semi-pro and pro soccer here in Brevard County now. We've got semi-pro basketball, football. Our football is fantastic. We've got a couple of colleges. I'm going to go buy, when I hit the next lotto, I'm going to go buy a minor league hockey team and put them up somewhere.
You sure? I got somebody I want you to talk. You know, Keith Lippert, who started the Friday Night Locker Room, used to own the hockey team in New York.
Oh, really?
He said it was the biggest mistake he ever made
Oh.
because he said the guys kept breaking sticks. He said the cost of practice on the ice was unbelievable. He'd have his guys practicing at midnight. They hated him because he only gave them ice time to practice at midnight when the ice time was the cheapest.
Right.
He said, man, it was the biggest mistake I ever did was own a hockey team.
Terrence Shannon on the line now for Space Coast, looking to make this a 11-point game. He does so. 53-42, 10 minutes to play here in quarter number 3 as the Stars trailing the two-time league champion Miami Midnight. Of course, we've heard from both head coaches. The Midnight look to dribble inside, and a good-looking defensive play by Anthony Jackson, who starts to break there, gets the ball down to number 3. That is Brian Brown for Space Coast. For some reason, I'm having a difficult time remembering Brian Brown and number 3. Everybody else I seem to have.
There's always one.
Always one. All right, bringing the ball up is Kevin Thomas for Miami. He points out the offense being guarded by Galvin Jr. He gets the ball over to Amir Seston. Seston drives, pulls up from about 20 feet. No good. Rebound Stars, Terrence Shannon. Shannon will bring it up himself as the big guy dribbles, pulls up, shoots, in and out. Rebound goes to Todd Thomas, who will throw the ball all the way down the court, and Shannon somehow got all the way back to get that. He looks for an alley-oop to Jackson. Jackson can't do it, gives it back to Shannon, in and out. Jackson follows with the tip in, and finally, the Space Coast Stars have closed the lead to within 11. Yeah, I drive Orville crazy with that. I touch everything.
You're grabbing my pencils and pens.
53-44 here. 8:46 to play here in the third quarter. Very excited to be here tonight at the Bethany Christian School here off of 192 down in West Melbourne. Good game between the Miami Midnight and the Space Coast Stars as Terrence Shannon with a good look and turnaround 20-foot jump shot. The lead is now just 7 as the Stars have closed the lead to within 7 at 53-46 on Shannon's good-looking two-point shot there. Miami, the last time the Stars got this close, Miami won on an 11-2 run. There's the whistle. We're going to have a push on the play here. Checking in for Miami will be a brand new group of starters.
a whole new team.
Just in time. As I got to memorize those starters, here comes 5 more. But no harm, no foul. Your point guard now will be, it looks to be a guy that had a really good first half. With about 10 points in the first half is George Gray. Gray gets the ball over to Andy Diaz. Diaz with a long shot, no good. Rebound, offensive rebound to the Miami Midnight. Miguel Paul gets the offensive rebound. He gives the ball back to Gray. Gray controls at the top of the three-point line. He drives, hands the ball off to number 6, Antonio Hester. He has it stolen on the play there by number 8, who drives in. That's Rodney Williams drives in, and he will be fouled by Antonio Hester, sending Hester to the line. I'm sorry, not sending him to the line, sending Corey Williams to the line.
All of a sudden, the Stars can cut the deficit to 5 points.
Yep. No pressure on the owner here.
No.
And he does cut the lead to 6 as he converts the first of his 2 free throws here. 53-47, and this is what Coach Wilcox talked about, to maintain that intensity in the second half. So far, Miami, and Corey Williams does indeed cut the lead to 5. As Chuck Agee has to be happy with what he's seeing from the Space Coast Stars. Miami now looking to get that lead back. It's just 5. It was once 14. Driving into the ball is stolen now. So Galvin with an opportunity to cut the lead. He passes off to Anthony Jackson, who shoots, and the ball is swatted about 20 feet away by the near 7-footer Keon Palmer. He's tall.
He is tall, Hayden. He's a handful underneath the basket. Excellent defensive player.
Yeah, it was. All right, with an opportunity to cut the lead to 3 here, the veteran Shannon with the ball, dribbles in the lane, shoots, but he traveled inside. So turnover, and the ball goes back to the Miami team, the Miami Midnight. Miami Midnight wearing the green with the yellow stripe down their jerseys, the Space Coast Stars in all gold. Miami working the ball across the three-point perimeter. Gray with a good-looking jump shot, no good. The ball goes off the front of the rim and almost comes out of bounds here, but the official, I believe, called a foul here, pushing underneath. Yep, that's what it was. As Corey Williams looks to inbound, he does so. He finds over there, standing all by himself, Rodney Williams. Williams, who gives the ball to Terrence. Terrence up with a nice-looking jump shot. It won't go as he is fouled on the play by number 11, Keon Palmer, sending Terrence Shannon back to the free throw line. Shannon so far today is 3 out of 5 from the charity stripe. 2 points here would cut the lead to 3, 53-48 right now. Shannon up with his first, and it is good. So it's 53-49. The lead is 4, 7:04 to play here as Corbin Jackson checks in for Anthony Jackson, it looks like. So Jackson for Jackson. Shannon steps back to the line. And this would be huge here, Steve, to get this lead to 3 after it was 14.
VR Hawks checks in for the Melbourne Bulldogs.
How about that? Shannon makes them both and hits nothing but the net on both of them. So with 7 minutes to play, the lead is now just 3 for the defending league champ, Miami Midnight, as George Gray dribbles across the time stripe. He will hand the ball off to Kevin Thomas. Thomas shoots, no good. Rebound, Corbin Jackson. Jackson gives the ball over to his guard, Galvin. Galvin's going to have the ball stolen by Gray. It's Galvin and Gray race. Gray up and in. 55-50 now for the Miami Midnight. Up with a long three-point shot and no good there is number 8, Rodney Williams. Miami with the rebound. Gray slows it down a little bit. 17 on the shot clock. That's number 9, Kevin Foster. He has the ball taken from him by Corey Williams, but Williams trying to get the ball out of danger, throws it out of bounds here with 6:18 to play in a 55-50 Midnight lead as Gray will come over here by the scores table. Actually, Gray will not inbound. The ball will be inbounded by number 6, Antonio Hester. Hester smacks the ball. He gets it into Gray. Gray guarded very, very closely there by number 2. So for the first time tonight, James Pouncey Jr. is in the game, Steve. And the Midnight cannot convert as Terrence Shannon, the veteran, steps up. He gives over in the corner there to number 8, Rodney Williams, but he can't convert the 3. Rebound to the Midnight. Gray inside to Hester. That's going to be an offensive foul. And I got to tell you, that was a good play by Rodney Williams there. If you saw it on the live stream, he held his position and forced the charge. Just what the Space Coast Stars needed at this moment. Team owner Corey Williams will take the ball over to the far court timeline there and look to inbound. He will do so. He smacks the ball instead of giving it to number 2 there. He gets it up to Weinbrenner. Weinbrenner, though, does give the ball back to Pouncey Jr. Pouncey Jr. with a good-looking, leaning jump shot in the lane there, Steve, and cuts the lead back to 3, 55-52. Miami quickly transitions back into Space Coast territory as Keon Palmer goes to body block off of Corbin Jackson, and I believe the foul's going to be called against Corbin Jackson. And you can see the mentoring going on here between Terrence Shannon and Corbin Jackson. Chucky G and Terrence Shannon talking. Corbin Jackson didn't feel like he committed the foul, and it did look like from this vantage point, Steve, that Keon Palmer leaned in a couple of times on him and was high. But, look, the referee saw it the way she saw it. Good defensive play. Oh, my goodness gracious. To the basket goes Antonio Hester. All over Antonio Hester is Corey Williams and Corbin Jackson. And you may throw in Weinbrenner for good measure there, as Hester will go to the line looking to increase the Miami Midnights lead to 5 here. It's 55-52 with 5:20 to play. An impressive start to the second half for the Space Coast Stars, who did trail in this ball game at one point by 14 points. Checking into the game now is number 15 for Space Coast. That's Byron Thompson checking out his team owner, Corey Williams, as Antonio Hester made his first one. So it's 56-52, the lead up to 4, and make it 5 as Hester drops both buckets in. 5:16 to play here in the third quarter. Corbin Jackson, good looking inside pass there to Weinbrenner, but he cannot kiss it off the glass as Paul. Yeah, that's a good call by the referee there, as Pouncey Jr. got there just a little bit too late, and he takes the he doesn't create the charge. He gets the block instead. So Gray gets the inbound pass there. Pouncey Jr. on Gray. Gray, who's had a good game. Corbin Jackson looks to steal the pass. He cannot. Palmer inside there to number 7, who goes up and off the glass with it. That's Andy Diaz, but he's going to be fouled on the play by Pouncey Jr., who's all over the floor right now. I wonder if he's any relation to the Pouncey brothers.
Pouncey Jr., locally is from Cocoa Beach.
Okay.
He's former Minutemen. The big boys are from Lakeland.
Gotcha, okay. There's nobody knows high school athletes like Steve Wilson. I knew I'd get my answer. As Mr. Diaz up and in with his first bucket of the night from the charity stripe. So it's 58-52, the Miami Midnight on top. Diaz with his second. That one does not fall, so the lead stays at 6 for Space Coast as Pouncey Jr. is running the offense. Now he has the ball stolen away by Gray. Gray will lay it up and in, and it's 60-52. Now the lead is up to 8 here in the third period with 4:35 to play. And Gray, what's the call here? You're going to call it on number 3 there. The foul's going to be called on number 3 of the Miami Midnight. That is Miguel Paul. So they're not quite into a 1-and-1 situation. 5 team fouls against Space Coast, 4 against Miami. So it's an inbound situation as Pouncey Jr. looks to inbound. Right now on the floor for the Space Coast Stars, you've got Corbin Jackson, number 35. Number 24 is Lemon Weinbrenner. You've also got, it looks like, number 15 out there, and that's Byron Thompson. And the player I'm missing is number 8, Rodney Williams. And the ball is inbounded to Williams. Williams shoulder fake, down the lane, up, hands off to Weinbrenner. Weinbrenner up and in for a hard 2 points there. 60-54 with 4:22 to play. Keon Paul takes the pass there. That's what you want to call that, because it kind of came up and he had no choice. Handed it off to Paul, but Paul looking to dunk there. Couldn't do it over Corbin Jackson. Instead tries to lay it in, but the ball does not go. I don't know who the foul was called on, but I'd have to guess that one went to Weinbrenner, and it sends Keon Paul to the charity stripe for an opportunity to make this an 8-point game.
Lennon Weinbrenner, another former Cocoa Beach Minutemen player.
Okay. How far out is he? How far out of high school is he?
I would be guessing. I'm not certain.
Okay. The big guy, Kenyon Palmer there, hits both his free throws, so it's hits one of the two, so 61-54, 7-point lead, and Space Coast did have the ball. It's stolen away, and that is as pretty of an alley-oop give and go as you are going to see there, as that's number 3, Kevin Thomas over to Andy Diaz, and that was just gorgeous. I'm sorry, check that. Over to Antonio Hester, and Kenyon Palmer back in, and just that fast, a 3-point lead has jumped out to 11 as the Miami Midnight are on an 8-0 run, and a good timeout by head coach Chuck Agee, Steve.
Yeah, it is. The Stars had cut it to 3. Looked like they had a chance to, well, they were back into the game, and they still are. They're down by 11. We're only in the third quarter, 3:45 left in quarter number 3. but you just got to like the way the Midnights just seem to be able to turn it on. They didn't like the fact that the Stars were closing in. They hit another gear all of a sudden, and you said it right. It's a 3-point game. You look at the clock now, it's an 11-point game.
Yeah. I mean, with 4:37 to play, the lead was 5.
And yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, during this timeout, we'd like to thank Planet Fitness. They're located in Rockledge Plaza at 1802 U.S. Highway 1 in Rockledge. Planet Fitness has a 23,000 square foot facility with fitness equipment and cardio machines. The phone number, 433-1331. Website keyword, planetfitness.com. Grand reopening this Tuesday, Planet Fitness. They've been shut down for 10 days renovating. It's like a brand new facility in Rockledge. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it's 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, a grand reopening.
Very excited for that. All right, checking in here for the Space Coast Stars, who trail this by 11. Byron Thompson's in. Checking in is Mustafa Hussein. Checks in, and he's going to run the offense. And I tell you what, if you're watching this on SpaceCoastDaily.com and you're not impressed with the defensive play of guard George Gray for the Miami Midnight, I don't know what could impress you. Gray, unbelievable at the point of attack, and he's in the hip pocket of every guard for the Space Coast Stars. But 65-54 with 3:20 to play here. Speaking of Gray, he gives the ball over there out to number 3, who shoots I don't know if that's a 2. Yep, it's a 3. 67-54. Now the lead is 13 as Miguel Paul converts the 3. Space Coast looking to try to stop the run, stop the bleeding, if you will. Corbin Jackson from the three-point line drives in, gives it off to Terrence Shannon. Shannon loses control of the ball, and there is Miguel Paul again. This time that ball is going to be tipped as it comes out of his hand. Space Coast on the run. Mustafa Hussein with a three-pointer, no good. Corbin Jackson with the follow off the glass, and he gets the 2. 67-56 for the Miami Midnight. 2:33 to play here in the third quarter. Gray right around the defender there to the basket. Terrence Shannon going to call a block there on number 11. So that's going to be an offensive foul against Keon Paul. So Miami will turn the ball over with 2:28 to play here. 67-56. And you've got Mustafa Hussein and Terrence Shannon. But there is Gray once again in the hip pocket of Hussein. Space Coast Corbin Jackson drives the baseline, lays it up. He's going to be fouled on the play by number 11 once again. By my calculations, that is Keon Paul's. That's his 5th I got. Coach Wilcox telling him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you commit one foul, you can't turn around and commit the other one, which is what happened there on the play. Coach Wilcox patting him on the back, telling him, hey, it's what happens. You get a little emotional in these games. Look, you don't become the 2-time defending league champion by not playing with intensity. 67-56 now. The lead is 11 as Gray goes up with the shot. No good. The rebounds there. Diaz underneath. He can't get it to go. Diaz fighting all day long against Terrence Shannon and number 15, Byron Thompson. And that was right there the Andy Diaz show. I don't know. He went up 4 times, got 4 offensive rebounds on that, and it paid off immensely for Diaz as he is, Adrian Diaz, check that, as he is now at the free throw line. Amazing. I don't know how he could keep jumping. It's like his legs were springs. I'm going to be sore tomorrow just watching these guys play. So it's 68-56 now. The lead back to 12 points with 2:04 to play here in the third quarter. Alan Slaughter-Zinski, Steve Wilson with you on SpaceCoastDaily.com, bringing you tonight a special edition of the Friday Night Locker Room here on a Saturday night. Corbin Jackson can't get it to go, but Terrence Shannon says, I'll get that to go, and slams the rebound back home, Steve.
He has done that overseas. Now he's doing it in the States.
As we told you earlier on, he's just returned from Venezuela as good-looking dribble there and drive by, I believe that is Hester as he drives and lays it in. The lead is now 12 at 70-58. Three-point attempt there by Shannon, no good. Rebound out to Miguel Paul. Paul pulls up inside to Hester. Hester to Diaz. Diaz will take a two-handed slam to get the lead to 72-58. We've got a wet surface over here that maybe we ought to take a minute. That's Mustafa Hussein went slip sliding away. The ball is stolen by Hester. He's got many numbers, but the ball is turned over there. Coming up the court with his Byron Thompson. Thompson inside to Shannon, and there is a beautiful give and go as Corbin Jackson to Terrence Shannon. And the lead is now 12 with under 45 seconds to play here. So we've had 3 straight dunks here, Steve, that have been highlight reel makers.
And we've got them live stream on
SpaceCoastDaily.com. SpaceCoastDaily.com. That's it. 30 seconds to go here. Hester dribbles inside, and he's going to fall on the same area that Mustafa Hussein fell.
Yeah, Coach,
somebody needs to get that fixed there.
Coach Agee, head coach of the Stars, brings a towel, wiping up the wetness in the paint.
A lot of sweat down there because there's a lot of dunking going on. Where's the donut, Steve? Because there's a lot of dunking.
Been waiting to say that all day.
All night, Steve, all night. That's funny.
Coach Agee just about finished doing a little house cleaning. 25.7 seconds left in quarter number 3. It's a 12-point Midnites lead.
Got there quick, too, because, 4 minutes ago it was 3. But that's how fast. And, again, we talked about it at halftime. The thing that's probably perhaps more impressive about the Miami Midnight than their quick strike scoring capabilities is the fact, Steve, that they're such a heady defensive team. They constantly got their arms up and out, and that's how you play the ball.
About ready to resume play.
Inbounding will be Anthony Jackson. He's going to look for Corbin Jackson, who's going to look to get the ball across the midcourt stripe. He does so. What's going to be the call here? That's going to be a block call there on number 9 for Miami. That is Kevin Foster. That's his 3rd foul. Now, with 19 seconds to go, Space Coast with 7 fouls, and Miami with 6. We're now in a 1-and-1 situation, Steve, as Corbin Jackson takes the line. 0 for 2 tonight from the stripe. Make it 0 for 3. Corbin was around a 60% free throw shooter for FIT this year, but he's 0 for 4 in this one. As Miami looking to make some quick points there before the third quarter ends, and Diaz looking for Gray, can't find him, throws the ball out of bounds. Inbounding will be Rodney Williams. He inbounds to Terrence Shannon. Shannon gets the ball over to Stephen Galvin. 10 seconds to play. Shot clock, no factor here, 72-60. Looking to cut it under double digits here before we get to the 4th and final period of the game. But it won't happen as the ball will roll off the foot of Jackson and out of bounds. 2 seconds to go here as Gray shoots from the three-point line and almost gives his team a 15-point lead, but it's in and out. So after 3 quarters of play, the Miami Midnight 72, the Space Coast Stars 60. And let me tell you a little bit.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention, we've talked a lot about Corbin Jackson tonight. His older brother, James Jackson, JJ, one of the top players, dominant players in Brevard County for years, attended Cincinnati, played 4 years at Cincinnati, now is playing overseas in Poland. His team is in the playoffs, so JJ is doing well. Corbin is going to be following the same route. I don't think there's any question about it. He had the opportunity to play in Italy this summer, chose not to do that because of his little girl. But he's confident. We talked to him before the game that the opportunities will be there. When fall rolls around, he's going to be playing basketball somewhere because he's too good not to be able.
Yeah, no question about it. And Steve, out of all of what would you? Obviously we know that Terrence Shannon's the oldest guy on the team. He told us 17-year veteran.
Yeah.
But who are some of the guys on the Space Coast Stars that like the Corbin Jacksons of the world, had that opportunity?
Well, you know who? One of their top players and top scorers, Ellis Young, who's Cocoa High School graduate, is injured. He's not playing tonight. Ellis has been solid all year long. You talk Jackson, Anthony Jackson, former Melbourne Bulldog, has put up some big-time numbers. So there are multiple players on this court that have a chance to play. They're not going to be in the NBA, but they have a chance to earn a living overseas playing.
Right.
They really do.
Right, and I mean, to play at that level overseas, you know what? That's a lot of fun, and you can make good money.
Absolutely.
And this is a guy right here that I would look for in the future. This Andy Diaz is something else. That is his 18th point of the game by my calculations, and he is a highlight reel maker. Probably needs to a little less aggressive defensively. He's got 5 fouls on the night, but you know what? Hey, I mean, it's tough when you're a big guy like that to lay off of other big guys. Anthony Jackson from way downtown. He'll hit it off the side of the rim. Corey Williams gets the rebound, bounces it back to Corbin Jackson. Jackson loses handle for just a moment, gets it over to Corbin Jackson, gets it to Corey Williams, who gets it back to Jackson on the give and go, and Jackson loses control of the ball, but there's a foul on the play.
Yeah, we talked about overseas basketball players. I was contacted today by Walter Hodge, who was inducted into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame last night. He contacted via Twitter to apologize. He said, I wasn't there. I know they're still playing basketball in Italy, so I certainly understand him not being there, but the opportunity is there for a lot of these youngsters to take it to another step.
And Walter Hodge, if you had an opportunity to attend the award ceremony last night, the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame inductions, Walter Hodge has made quite a name for himself over there.
Yeah, he really has. He excelled at Florida Air Academy, which is now Florida Prep. Won 2 state titles, went to the University of Florida, won 2 national titles, and then has played overseas with multiple teams, but at a very high level and has played well.
He was on those Billy Donovan teams, those great Billy Donovan Florida teams that won back-to-back national titles. So, anyway, back to action here as the Midnight with a 74-62 lead. You know what? Speaking of Donovan real quick, it's worth mentioning, since we're doing a game here, Billy Donovan and his Oklahoma City Thunder, Steve, upsetting the San Antonio Spurs. How about Billy Donovan getting it done?
He's done well. The Spurs, how about the age of the Spurs?
Unbelievable.
Is that what's finally going to do them in?
I think so. And you know what? It kind of showed up at the end of that series a little bit here. And then there's a future coach standing there next to Chuck Agee. That's Terrence Shannon told me that's the direction he'd like to go. From Chicago, Terrence Shannon told us. Very exciting player. A couple of highlight reel dunks tonight. And mentors a lot of these guys. You see him talking to Corbin Jackson a lot so far.
And he had all of the players on the court about an hour prior to the game, going over certain plays that they may see tonight.
That is Terrence Shannon did?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
See, and that's what you need. That's the type of leadership you need. And that's something that you can't teach that either.
Right.
As Mr. Gray hits his first free throw, it's 76-62 now as the Miami Midnight look to get the lead. They're pushing it up on them, and there it is, 77-62. The lead is 15. That is the largest lead of the game for the Miami Midnight. Anthony Jackson dribbles for Space Coast, gives the ball back to Corbin Jackson. Jackson with a great move inside, but he took one too many steps.
Yep. Player owner Corey Williams doesn't necessarily agree. I think it was a good call, though.
Yeah, that's the third travel of the game for Corbin, and he's frustrated. This is new for him.
Oh, this is his first time playing with the Stars.
This is his very first game. Well, there's the frustration level. Yeah.
He's never practiced with him before.
Right, and that's of course, he just picked up a technical foul. So, and he's going to have to sit for that one. Corbin, not a happy camper. And look, you're right. I think it was the right call. The one down here was the right call, but you don't feel that or know that.
Right.
Look, it wasn't a Michael Jordan walk, that's for sure. It wasn't 8 steps.
Yeah.
But so you understand where he's coming from. All right, across the midcourt stripe come the Miami Midnight. What do we got here? They call a travel on that one. They did. Adrian Diaz, I believe, got called for the travel, similarly to what Corbin Jackson got called. And this is what I like about Corbin. Corbin's down there talking it out with the other official, and he's, relaxing. Heat of the moment. Anthony Jackson on the baseline gets the ball back out to Corey Williams. Williams thought the ball was touched. It wasn't. The official points toward the Miami Midnight, and it's 78-62 now. 16-point lead as we approach the 10-minute mark to play here in the fourth quarter. That's a three-point shot put up, but it will not go. Anthony Jackson with all kinds of space, and he creates in that space with a one-handed windmill, left-handed dunk, Steve.
Yeah,
that was pretty.
That was pretty.
Highlight reel stuff there. As Gray, all 5'10" of Gray, dribbles down the lane, lays the ball up, and was fouled on the play. I do believe the foul is going to be on number 33. That's Mr. Shannon, I believe, picked that one up there. So Gray will go to the line. He's converted all but one of his 8 free throw attempts tonight, Steve. He is now he's now 8 for 9. Mr. Gray finds himself at the free throw line quite a bit. Small guy, but is not afraid to dribble that ball inside. And these are some big guys out here, says the 6'5", 250-pound broadcaster. It was a good hustle play there. Didn't quite work, didn't quite pan out. The Space Coast Stars will look to inbound there. 80-64, 16-point lead now. 9:51 to play in the contest. Two-time defending league champion Miami Midnight with the lead here. The ball, unfortunately, there will go off the foot of number 5, Amir Thomas, and out of bounds. And as a result, well, actually it went off of the Miami Midnight, so Space Coast will keep it. Thomas gets the ball on the inbound from Jackson. He converts. Amir Thomas with points 3 and 4 for Space Coast, and it's 80-66. Still time left here, Steve.
There really is. Barely under 10 minutes.
14 points have we seen on several occasions tonight by both teams. Nothing to make up. And there you have it, a couple of misses just like that one by Miami. And as long as Space Coast can convert on these, just double dribble. Chuck Agee not happy with that. And I didn't see the double dribble there. I didn't see it. Maybe you saw it on the live stream on SpaceCoastDaily.com. And we are coming into our own there. Check it out, SpaceCoastDaily.com. The live stream. Alan Slaughterzinski, Steve Wilson with you tonight from the Bethany Christian School down here in West Melbourne off of 192. The two-time defending FBL champion Miami Midnight right now with a 14-point lead over our very own Space Coast Stars. And there's a long two-point shot that will find the bottom of the net. That conversion there by the number 2 for the Miami Midnight. You don't have the number, don't have the name. Corey Williams with a long three-point attempt there, no good. Miami looks to push the ball up the court, but number 5 there, Amir Thomas, knocks the ball out of bounds. Good defensive play there as Miami inbounds with 17 seconds to go on the shot clock. Diaz inside to Heston. Heston up and in for 2 more. 84-66. The lead is now 18 for Miami. Check that. That was Kevin Foster on the bucket for the Midnight. Anthony Jackson now for Space Coast as he's on the right 3-point circle as Paul Gray. Paul Gray knocks the ball out of bounds. Steve, he came past us at about 4.4 speed, didn't he?
He was a blur on the screen.
I bet you that was fun to see
Yeah.
on the live stream. Long shot there from Galvin Jr. That did that fall? Yeah, that
Yeah,
did fall.
slam dunk, cleaned up nicely by 33.
I did not see that as Steven Shannon cleans it up. And it's 84-68 with 7:50 to play here in the final period. Here's Gray from the corner, in and out. Shannon with the rebound. And Space Coast looking to make this a 14-point deficit. Got to cut into it starting sometime. And Shannon turns to find Galvin Jr. back at the top of the left three-point arc, but he throws the ball out of bounds, and the ball will go back to the Miami Midnight. So with 7:36 to play here, it is 84-68 Miami. And Gray slowing it down a little bit here, the point guard for the Miami Midnight. He is being guarded closely by Stephen Galvin Jr. He hands the ball off there. That to number 4, but he is fouled. Amir Seston is fouled on the play. That's going to be an offensive foul. They call a push-off on that one. All right, so Space Coast catches a break here. Galvin inbounds to Jackson. Jackson. Space Coast is going to have to look to convert buckets quickly, though, Steve. They tried there, did not happen. Amir Seston brings the ball up. There's the pick there. Seston slips and falls as he gets the handoff. Oh, I'm sorry, Gray slips and falls as he gets the handoff from Seston. They just working it around the top of the three-point line. The drive inside, and 2 points there by Miguel Paul for Miami. We're going to have a timeout here with 6:46 to play by Chuck Agee and the Space Coast Stars. Steve?
This timeout brought to you by Community Bank of the South. 3 locations, one at 277 North Sykes Creek Parkway in Merritt Island, one on State Road 524 in Cocoa, and the other at 1902 South Fisk Boulevard in Rockledge. Community Bank of the South provides personal banking, online banking, business banking, commercial and residential loans, and other service. Community Bank of the South is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured. The website, cbosdirect.com.
6:46 to go here in the final period. The two-time defending champion, FBL champion, Miami Midnight with an 86-68 lead. And here comes a time when the lead starts to get comfortable. But that's not it now, Steve. There's still time left here.
Well, we've seen the Stars get hot in short spurts and short periods. They need to do that starting just about now.
Yeah, it's got to start to happen for them now. As Pouncey Jr. will look to inbound the ball. He will get it into Stephen Galvin Jr. as Coach Agee has gone with a little bit more shooting on his floor. You've got Galvin Jr. on the floor now. You've also got Terrence Shannon. You've got Corbin Jackson. And at number 5, Amir Thomas. Inside to Corbin Jackson. He's fouled. Jackson goes up with it. Are they going to give him the bucket? I didn't think that progress had continued there, but apparently they're going to give it to him, Steve.
Wow.
Or aren't they?
Well,
No, they're not.
One official said yes, the
other
one
said no.
overrode him.
Yeah, you're right. And they are going to. What are we doing?
They're going to talk it out.
There we go. And Jackson's going to step on the free throw line, so it is going to count. And he's going to get it looks like he's going to get the opportunity to convert the three-point play here. So it's 86-70 with 6:25 to go, and he does it. So it's 86-71 now as Corbin Jackson converts the three-point. That's his first free throw of the night, made for the former Florida Tech Panther. Seston hands off down the lane. Good looking give and go to Kevin Foster. But Foster can't get the ball to fall as Galvin Jr. brings it up. Inside there, back to Corbin Jackson. Jackson looked like he might get hit with a charge, but no. as he kisses it off the glass. It doesn't go, and Terrence Shannon follows it up 86-73. And we said, Steve, if they're going to get back into it, now was the time. Miami, though, as they have done all night long, have found a way, just like right there, as Kevin Foster has found a way to stop any momentum the Space Coast Stars can conjure up. So, 15-point lead here with approaching the 5-minute mark of the fourth period here. Good basketball game. Shannon inside from Jackson for two more. Shannon, I believe, looking somewhere about the 14, 16-point range tonight. Good-looking game from the 17-year veteran. Gray, off-balance three, no good for Miami. Long pass from Corbin Jackson down to Galvin Jr., no good. Rebound for Miami by Amir Seston. Seston all the way up the court to Gray. That'll go off the glass, no good. Rebound, Space Coast. And Space Coast will lose the handle on it as Amir Seston will fight for the ball. Corbin Jackson there. And they're going to timeout Miami. And because he did that, then Miami will retain possession of the basketball. Steve?
Jimmy's Restaurant, 1279 Admiralty Boulevard next to Turtle Creek Golf Club. Also, Jimmy's Restaurant, US 1 in Port St. John. There's two Jimmy's. It's about as good as it gets.
Yes. Yes, it is. And correct me if I'm wrong, but new ownership at Jimmy's.
New ownership.
Yeah.
Libby is taking over the Jimmy's at Turtle Creek. Jimmy Mascolas is gone to Port St. John. So, a lot of excitement going on.
A lot of good stuff going on up there, yep. All right, the players are, my goodness gracious, I wear 13. I know I'm looking at a size 18 right here in front of me.
Hey, how about those shoes, number 6?
Number 6, yes. I know that the live stream can pick them up. It's a good-looking pink on light green with a little bit of yellow caked in there. So,
looking good.
If that's if that's the color combination, I'm all for it.
I like it.
I like it. Oh, my goodness. And speaking of number 6, and, of course, we are referring to number 6 for Miami. That is Antonio Hester with another alley-oop inside there to the big man, Adrian Diaz. That one does not go, but Miami retains possession. Hester will take the inbound pass. He gives the ball off to Kevin Thomas. Thomas inside to Hester. Hester hands off to Diaz. Diaz doesn't dunk it, but up and in, 90-75. 15-point lead here for Miami with 4:20 to play on the clock. Galvin all the way out to Jackson. Jackson inside with a beautiful one-look pass to Shannon. And, that was a professional inside pass there, Steve.
Yeah, it was a big-time pass.
Yeah, that was in traffic, through traffic, and Shannon was waiting for it. A little bit of banter back and forth here. We got it all on camera right here between Shannon and the Miami bench. Shannon now will bring the ball up. Shannon probably somewhere in about the 18-point range now. Corbin Jackson turns, spins, he shoots, is fouled. A little bit of friendly play going on between Jackson and Diaz underneath. And it's 92-77 with 3:38 to play here. Walking by the scorer's table here is George Gray. Good game, Mr. Gray.
And don't go away. Shortly after the conclusion of this game, we'll be talking to the winning coach. And if the Stars come up short, we'll be talking to Corey Williams as well.
Yep. Can't wait to talk to Corey. Good interview. I don't know about the interview. I haven't interviewed him yet, but it was a good conversation I had with him before the game. So we'll talk to Damon Wilcox and Corey Williams coming up here. And with 3:30 to go, again, as you said, should the Stars come up a little short tonight, that'll be the plan. Looking forward to it. Steve, I am amazed at watching you work the camera tonight.
This is tough.
Just a great job on your part. Fantastic. You would think you were operating a boom camera. Corbin Jackson. That was a pass off the backboard that didn't quite make it to Shannon. Numbers here, and Hester finishes it off with a slam dunk. Amir Seston to Hester, and it's 94-77. I would imagine Miami looking to put the century mark here, Steve.
Yeah. And what do we get, like a free pizza or something?
Something like that, right? Down there. Where did you and Orville eat that time down in Miami?
Oh, my gosh. I try to forget those Miami trips with Orville.
And the Miami Midnights 6 points shy of the century mark. And Diaz inside looking actually just to kill some time off the clock. They do that. Up with the ball is Hester. Corbin Jackson commits the foul. Sits underneath. And I believe that's Jackson's fifth. Yeah, fifth. My wife says I have an uncanny knack to keep numbers in my head. I wish I could remember to keep things like trash days.
Yeah, anniversaries.
Anniversaries, things like that.
Birthdays.
Right. But I can tell you who the first head coach to win and lose the Super Bowl was. At the line now is Antonio Hester for the Miami Midnight. 94-77 here, 2:31 to play. Hester a little strong on the free throw there. Off the back of the backboard, score remains 94-77.
You know, you keep up that thought process, you'll end up 95 years old in a hotel room by yourself talking about the first Super Bowl. I remember.
I do. Hester up with his second one, a little lighter, and this time he'll find the bottom of the bucket. 95-77, 2:30 to play now here in this one. And where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he stepped on the out-of-bounds line there. Yeah, I think that's what happened. That's number 8, Rodney Williams. You know, it's got to be strange, Steve, because you play your games in a lot of different gyms. You don't get an opportunity to get comfortable in one place because you know your marks, you know where things are,
right.
Depth perception, things of that nature. Here's a good-looking two-point shot there that won't fall. Diaz up with it. Weinbrenner looking to knock it out. Doesn't happen. Diaz goes in. He's going to be fouled that time, though, by Shannon. I don't know how Weinbrenner missed the foul. But he did, sending Diaz to the line. Diaz, another player tonight that's pushing around the 20-point plateau. 97-77, 2 here. Makes it 99. Don't have to worry about that. He missed the first one. That's a 1-and-1 situation, apparently. I thought he was fouled on the shot, but that's – I must have missed something. But you didn't at home because it's streaming live on SpaceCoastDaily.com. And what a way – yeah, this is going to be a fun year coming up. Miami looking to take it home now. A 3-hour drive there. Almost another highlight reel play as Space Coast still, you know, fighting and scratching and clawing. Here's Galvin lays it up and in for twos. 97-79 with a minute 20 to play. And the score right now not indicative of really the competitive nature of this game because this was a very competitive game, Steve.
Yeah, it was.
But it's 99-79, and it's a 20-point lead, the largest margin of the game. Weinbrenner shoots a three, cannot get it. Ball out of bounds to the Miami Midnight. And at 99-79, I would think they're going to look to hit the century mark on this possession with a minute and 2 to play here in the contest. Yeah, this was a competitive game. I mean, with 4 minutes to play in the third quarter, Space Coast cut the lead to 3. All right, we're under a minute here. Seston fires a long three, in and out, no good. Weinbrenner with the ball. He gives it almost turned over, but Galvin Jr. keeps it in the corner for Rodney. He fires, no good. Ball kicked back out. Hester up the court there. That is number 5, Kevin Thomas. Thomas will just hang on to the ball here. He's got, there's 12 seconds to go on the shot clock, 27 to go on the game clock. So He's calling out an offense here with 6-5. And Hester from the three-point in the corner, no good. Doesn't hit anything as he is fouled on the play by Galvin. Stephen Galvin Jr. fouls the three-point shooter and sending Hester to the line, I believe, for three, Steve.
Yeah, he was fouled beyond the arc. This one might get him into triple digits.
Yeah, I think so. And there it is. Oh, no.
Nope, not yet.
As Coach Wilcox said earlier, you know what? You can't assume anything. So Hester looking to Steve and I's favorite shoes, looking to put, there it is. There's the 100th point of the game. So 179 points total in this one, Steve. 100-79 for the Miami Midnight. Looking to close out the Space Coast Sharks here on the road. Make it 101-79, 15 seconds to go. This probably likely the final possession here. Stephen Galvin Jr. with the rebound for Space Coast and taking shots. Weinbrenner, 3, 2, 1. The horn should sound, and that'll do it, Steve, from down here in West Melbourne, the Bethany Christian School. The visiting Miami Midnight with a 101-81 victory over the Space Coast Sharks. And good basketball game, Steve.
Yeah, it was. And once again, don't go away. We'll be talking to the head coach of the Miami Midnights and also bring over owner, player, assistant coach Corey Williams. He does it all for the Stars, but it wasn't the night or the afternoon, evening for the Stars. They come up short against the two-time defending champions. From South Florida, the Miami Midnights, big 101-81 victory. Alan's going to bring over the head coach. And
we're going to bring over head coach Damon Wilcox here. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You were concerned about how your team would start the second half. It got nip and tuck there. Space Coast closed it within 3. What did you say to your team, or did you just let them go do their thing?
First of all, that Space Coast team, I give them a lot of credit. They came out and they punched us to start that second half, and they're a good ball club. First 6 minutes, I don't think we scored but 2 points at the start of the third quarter. But then we went on a little run. I didn't say much to them. I told my assistant coach, because I think you saw I subbed all 5 guys out, put in a new 5. I told my assistant coach, I said, you know what? We turned it into a ball game. Now let's see what we made of. He said, well, coach, we're going to go on a run. And we went on a run. And we did go on a run. So our guys credit. When the game got down to 4 points, we buckled down and went into a little run, and then we kind of pulled away a little bit.
Well, Coach, if you had to pick one standout player of the game, and I know it's a team sport, but who stood out in your mind tonight?
Well, I like the work that we did down low with Adrian Stretch Diaz, the big guy down low. Stretch, that's right, Stretch Diaz. He's just getting to us a couple of weeks ago, so we're still ingratiating him and getting him inclined and getting him in tune with what we're doing. So, you know, for him to come in, it's his second game, he's paying major dividends. I like the way he played. And then, you know, George Gray is one of our catalysts. He's something we call him little big man. That's our little big man. So he got us going.
He ran past the scores table, and it was like 4.0 warp speed.
He doesn't get tired. You know, he runs. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He runs and runs and doesn't get tired. And I take him out and say, Coach, I'm not tired. I say, no, you didn't come on because you were tired. Just come on, sit down for a minute. You know, so y'all got to do something to keep him involved. But he's full of energy. He makes our team go. You know, he sometimes out of position, but he makes up for it with hustle and grit and hard play.
Coach, what would you look into the camera there and have to say, because we're streaming this to the fans back in Miami?
Well, I like to tell all of our Midnight fans, you know, streaks are made to be broken, but now we started a new streak, 1 in a row. Here we go again, Midnight basketball. So, you know, one game at a time, and we appreciate all the fan support and everybody watching the game, and just continue to support the Midnights and we try to do the best we can.
Coach, congratulations. Have safe travels back, and thank you for all your time today. Thank you.
Yeah, we've got Corey Williams. He's going to come over to the table in just a minute. We'll pick his brain, get his thoughts on the ball game this afternoon.
We're here with owner, player, coach, everything. Corey Williams. Look, the score says 101-81, but that score is not indicative of this game. The Space Coast Stars were within 3 points, 4 minutes to put, to play in the third quarter. Talk about this effort from this team tonight.
It's a beautiful effort. Just to see the guys fight. That's what it's all about, we give that last fight, we give it to the last breath. That's what we got to do. So we never see ourselves down. We're always going to go ahead, even if we're coming out of timeout, half, 0-0. We got to get 3 stops. We got to get 2 stops. We're going to push this thing. So, for our end, we just got to score the basketball. But then we're playing against 2-time champs of the FBA. We're a rookie team. We got a lot that we got to grow from, too, as a unit. So we got to play more team ball, more organized ball. I guarantee you that score would have been a lot different at the end.
How do you mentor the young guys coming along like the Corbin Jacksons of the world? What do you tell them to take away from a game like today?
Just my thing is about the experience, I always use it with my lifestyle. I'm that person. I have to learn and grow through experience. So that's what I tell the guys. Learn and grow through experience. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Make mistakes, but learn from them. I always let them know I'd rather a bad shot than a turnover. Bad shot, you got 50-50 chance. Turnover, you got that one chance and that's it. So just let them know, grow within your game. That's just the biggest thing for those guys to really understand, and I think they're starting to get it.
All right, that clears the players' side of it. Okay, let's get to the ownership standpoint of this thing. What will you do right now? What will the rest of your evening consist of as owner to get yourself ready to go for the next game? Were you expecting all these?
No. This is good. This is helping. One of the biggest things is we're playing against Tampa next. Tampa beat them. We lost to Tampa by 4. So that tells a lot about us and what we need to go ahead and correct. So as an owner, I'm hitting this game tonight on my game film, seeing what we need to do to go ahead and improve. Honestly, I think everybody's seen it a little bit. Whenever we start cutting the score down, started to be a little bit too much one-on-one whenever we need to play team basketball. So it's just getting that into the guys' head, like, hey, team basketball is going to win the game. No I in team. It's I and win, but there's no I and team.
Exactly. Corey, well, listen, congratulations on all your success. You work hard. You can see it. Be careful, man. You don't want this stuff to age you before it's time, okay? So be careful. This was my first Stars game tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Tell everybody where they can catch the Space Coast Stars and how they can follow them.
Hey, we're on Facebook, Space Coast Stars. You also check us out on spacecoaststarsbasketball.org as well. We'll be playing again next Saturday over in Tampa. So definitely the games are played at Bethany Christian School, located 1100 Dorchester Avenue, West Melbourne, Florida, 32904. So come out, come support. We're putting basketball, semi-pro basketball, back in Brevard County. That's ultimately what we want to do, and we really want to reach our community. That's our biggest thing. So whether it's helping schools out with fundraisers to help them raise money, getting kids off the street in the summertime and giving them something organized to do, we want to be a part of that and really help out and contribute back to our community. It's more than just about basketball. It's about making an impact on lives of others.
And there couldn't be a better guy to head this effort up than Corey Williams. Corey, thanks a lot so much for your time. Congratulations on everything. Corey Williams, back to you, Steve.
Well, we're about ready to wind up things on the campus of Bethany Christian. It has been semi-pro basketball, the Miami Midnights versus the Space Coast Stars. 182 points scored this afternoon. We thought we would see a lot of points scored. I don't know if we thought we'd see a team break the century mark, but I'm not shocked. We've both talked. There are some athletes on this court that are going to play at the next level. No, the next level is not the NBA, no. But there are professional basketball leagues overseas in South America that you will see some of these players playing at before too long. I can promise you that.
This was very exciting for me. I enjoyed this. Again, I didn't expect anybody to break the century mark. But you know what? This was fun, Steve. This was really fun to watch, the run and gun style here of Miami, and to watch Space Coast scratch and claw their way back into this thing. And you know what? Really got to within 3 points at one point. And aside from a couple of turnovers, really that game could have changed at any point right there, Steve.
Yeah, it really could. And that's the nature of sports. That happens. We see it all too often. Sometimes things just don't fall just like you'd like. Coach Agee going to come over here. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with the head coach. We've talked to the owner. Let's talk to Coach Agee, the football coach / basketball coach. Coach Agee does it all here on the Space Coast.
No question about that, Coach. Let's get lined up here in the camera. Coach Agee, I tell you, man, You guys got there within 3 points there. What was the thought process at that point? You felt good.
Yes, we did. We were just trying to maintain and keep them guys. Like I say, man, the guys play really good. They play real good together. And we had some different additions tonight. Not making any excuses, but we could have did a whole lot better job, you know. I'm back there chewing the butt right now because we had 2 weeks to prepare for these guys, and we got to get everybody on board all at the same time.
Coach, you're a young team, though. I mean, you got some veteran leadership out there, and Terrence Shannon, et cetera, but you got a young team here. And you got a team that tonight I saw was step for step with them. Aside for some turnovers, I mean, really, you are that close.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're going to find a good chemistry, and we're going to keep working and look forward to us next year, man. We're going to try to finish this year very strong.
I'm very excited. Now, I was talking to Corey, and I want to talk to you. Football coach, okay? Spring practice is going on. You got this going on. Coach, when do you sleep?
I get about 6 hours a night, man. It's rough, but, you know, I love it. I love changing lives and just doing what I do, man.
Well, we were talking today about how blessed we are in Brevard County to have great coaches like yourself as a part of what we do at the Friday Night Locker Room. And, Coach, you are definitely part of that. Coach Chuck Agee, thank you so much for your time and allow us to cover your team.
Oh, yes, all the time. We love you guys, too.
Take care, Coach. Thank you. Great guy.
He is that without question. He is the man on the sidelines trying to get the team in gold, going in the right direction. But we're going to wind things up here on the campus of Bethany Christian. The Space Coast Stars coming up a little short tonight by a score of 101-81. Alan, your final thoughts?
Well, I said to Coach Agee, and that's why I left it where I left it with him. This is a team that is very close. You know what, Steve? Another year, the maturation process. These kids continue, I say kids, these men continue to play together just like you did earlier. They continue to play together. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe the Space Coast Stars become the Miami Midnight in a year or two.
You never know. We'd like to thank our sponsors before we get off the air. Those are the ones that allow us to do what we do. Every time we hit the go button, that's DeCandio and Associates, Allstate Insurance, Jimmy's Restaurant, Berry Signs Incorporated, Custom Print Screen Printing, Community Bank of the South, Space Coast Tire, Al's Trophy Shop, Florida Master Temp, Planet Fitness, Knudsen and Brain Spine Injury Law Office, Beefo Brady's, and of course our title sponsor, Mike Erdman Nissan Cadillac. So for Tom Palermo back on the island, Alan Zlatarzinski sitting right next to me. I'm Steve Wilson. We hope you enjoyed live streaming tonight from Melbourne, Florida. We will be back next week. Spring football right around the corner. Good night, folks.